mode. Offline mode doesn't make any sense to me. Because first of all, if you look at it in the way, okay, now I said like this, okay, offline mode. Offline mode means that you can upload it, but it's not in the server yet. So I can use the excuse that, okay, I can say, okay, these guys uploaded it. I can now offline mode means that it's not in the server yet. So someone elsewhere can also use your same ID and upload the result in the server. And that's going to be in the server. But offline mode doesn't mean that it's just like you uploading it to be on a particular place in the A, but it doesn't mean it's in the server. So the whole thing was pre-planned by INEC. You understand? INEC had the time to do everything. They had the time to make all the arrangement. 300 billion naira is enough for them to do anything they wanted to do. So they don't have any excuse to give to Nigerians and say, oh, we didn't have network, or we don't have a lot of. Okay, well, now the issue was now, okay, after the president, after the polling unit, most of the people, after the result of the polling unit was done and they counted it, and they even showed some people took videos of it, pictures of it. So now, why couldn't they upload the results to INEC server using the beavers? For a period of 9 hours. INEC was saying, INEC now came and made a press conference and said, oh, press conference, they were not hacked and they didn't have any problem. So why couldn't they upload the result for 9 hours? They didn't give any answer. Okay, now APC, Labour Party, and other NNPP came out and said, okay, INEC, bring out the beavers upload. They have refused to bring it out. It makes no sense. You said that your portal didn't have any problem. Okay, bring out the beavers upload. You are then hiding it. Why? It's very, very clear. You said, okay, my computer had a problem for about 9 to 10 hours. You said, okay, now that you said that the beavers upload have been uploaded, okay, now bring it out. You can't bring it out. Why? And some people are just there accepting them and saying, oh, INEC are right, the election was credible. Now I'm going to ask you number one question. How did even APC win Akwa Ibom State?
Oh, okay. We'll still come to
okay,
that.
Okay, no worry. Okay.
Mr. Kayos, are you still there?
Yeah, Mr. Kayos is here.
Oh, all right. Thank you. So now, Mr. Humble have said some things in support of your initial submission. So, but now, why do you think only the losers of the election are complaining, and those the winning party feels the election was free and fair? So does this now mean that
it always happen? It always happen. Even in an academic field, when somebody take your first position, if you used to be the first, you challenge the teacher to be like, can I get to see my scores? And you understand, these are things that always happen. When you feel like, oh no, this thing is not right, you have the right to challenge the result. And the only thing I noticed about INEC was that it is going to more than 72 hours if they try to clarify those errors. The more the delay, the more the country in problem. I think INEC is only scared of the negative things that might happen if they should try to fix the problem the other parties want to do.
It's not about being scared. I think INEC is just afraid of returning the money that they took from Tinubu.
How sure are you they took money from Tinubu?
Bro, according to what's going on in the media, I heard that INEC even got to almost like Tinubu paid almost up to $1 billion for that election only.
This is it. We all believe in media.
Those are speculations.
Bro, it's APC. APC is a party. Even when Buhari won his election, we know how Buhari won his election. We still have the result of what happened in his hometown. So even when Buhari won his election, we know what APC are capable of doing. It's not something today. If you look at the APC election, ever since they started winning the election, starting from 2015, if you look at their records, you see that everything about them is all fraud, scam from beginning onset. There's nothing real about APC as a whole. So I don't consider them to be anything like this. APC, there's nothing APC cannot do. If they can kill people in NSAS protest and say that nothing happened. So is it just an election that you're gonna tell me that APC cannot do anything?
Welcome back, Mr. Chaos. So now,
okay,
I would love to ask you a question. Now, there are three major players in the election. So, if the INEC, like you have said, organized crappy election, Now, why do you think they are trying to favor? Because Mr. Humble said he feels
Yes.
they are trying to favor the winning party,
Mhm.
and he was specific about that. So why do you think the INEC will try to favor out of three front runners, or let's say the four front
Right.
runners, they will try to
Mhm.
favor one party and then at the expense of the other parties? Why do you really buy that idea that INEC intentionally wants to favor the winning party?
Well, I wouldn't tell. I can't tell the reason why, but I believe what they did was intentional, right? And I'm going to explain. Um, they promised us a free and fair election, and from what has been going on online since the election, I've seen people, not just one, not two, not three, a lot of people, people who helped during the election. They have different results from what was uploaded in the INEX server, right? That is number one. Number two,
Well, but
there are
the,
people.
the INEC chairman at some point interrupted, I think, Dino Melaye when he was trying to bring up such accusation that you're probably not having the original documents that they are having. So maybe that submission you just raised might also be among the numerous speculations that are flying around.
Actually, I don't think it's a numerous speculation, actually, because most people
Hold on,
already
yeah.
videos.
Like the evidence are very clear. The evidence are very clear. Like it's there. We are not stupid, right? We are not stupid. All of us are intelligent people, right? And INEC cannot be treating us as if we are like 2 years old and 1 year old, like tell us what to do or tell us what is right. We all know what is right. We all know the truth. We all know the lies. And the people who decide to side with the lies, they probably have their own intentions. They have what they are benefiting, which is the reason why they are siding with the lies. We saw videos and evidence and pictures of voters. People I think there was a local government in there was a polling unit in Lagos. Where people voted. And after the voting, there were videos of them counting the votes. Counting the votes, and there was pictures of the total number of the votes. Like the people who voted, they were there and counted the vote too, right? Counted the vote too, took the pictures. And then when they were when they went to INEX server, it was a total different thing. I have a picture on my phone. Which was gotten from INEX server. You will see where they canceled some numbers and reduced the amounts. I can share. I don't know if I can share this
normal
pictures.
human errors, maybe.
How can it be a normal human? How? Tell me that hundred of people came together, did an election, counted the election, uploaded the picture online, and then this picture was later changed, and you're telling me it's a human? How can 100 people come to a polling unit, 80% vote for a party, and then they counted the election, uploaded and leave? And then they went to INEX server and saw a different amount of number from what they did. Are you telling me that INEC from their office knows the number of people that came to vote in a polling unit? Are you telling me that all the people who voted in that polling unit and took the pictures and counted the number themselves don't know what they did. Like how? How is that even possible? How?
All right.
You see,
Thank
we
you.
are letting, yes. Okay.
I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. Mr.
Okay.
Humble Cloud. Now,
Yep.
from the election process across the nation, aside from maybe the Labour Party and the NNPP that had a shortage of agents in some of the polling units, Now, in every polling unit that each party have an agent, each of those agents, before the conclusion of the election at that polling unit, they sign on the IC whatever form in acceptance of the results. So now, if all those things happen and every of the agents attest to it, how possible do you think it's how easy do you think rigging in such a still such a situation can be?
Okay, now look at it from the beginning of the Orange State. Actually, when the election was being conducted at the polling unit, now people did their thumbprint on the paper, then it was counted. Understand? The result was gotten. Now, when according to the law, when the result was counted and then the numbers were gotten, now it was up to the agents to take a picture of it, take a picture of the result, upload it. Understand? Upload it to the BVAS to the INEC server. Understand? Now, this wasn't done for about 8 to 9 hours now, and that was around, if you on the phase of the election, this was around 8 to 9 hours, and it was people were still in the polling unit till around 12, 1, 2 in some unit that the INEC officials didn't come early. Understand? So it was done late at night. Understand? Now, most of the people that did early didn't upload. They have to wait. They waited. Some agents had to wait for more than 8 hours, and the reason wasn't done. Now INEC now most of them called their superior. Now they told them to bring the result to the collection center. And the result wasn't uploaded at to the BVAS, from the BVAS at the polling unit. They had to take the result to the collection center. So this whole rigging didn't happen in the polling unit, it happened on the collection center. So now it was for their boss. Now what the thing about the whole thing was, like, when you upload the result using your BVAS to the INEC server, now it was now for your boss to vet the result, to check what you upload and also the result on hand. It is what they call vetting. So now they have to vet the result, understand, and also make a final thumbprint that this result is authentic. Now, this result wasn't uploaded at all. So now you have to take it to the collection center, whereby all the polling units take it there. INEC collection center in every state has it. So now you have to take the result to the collection center. This is where the rigging was done overnight. So how come then people started uploading the result on the first day of the election around 4 a.m.? The election was done since 6 p.m. Now we started seeing the results online on INEC platform, results platform by 4 a.m. in the morning. Why?
All right. Let me bring JBT in. JBT, are you here? JBT.
I'm here.
All right. Now, you've heard what Humble Cloud said, and it still baffles me how this whole thing is being directed towards the winning team alone. Because I know there are several contestants in this election.
Sure.
Like let's assume Humble Cloud's speculation over the $1 billion or how much he said Tinubu had to arrange for this election. Let's assume that was true. Now, we have players in this election also who could have matched Tinubu's wealth man to man.
Yeah,
like
the thing is,
so someone like Atiku could have outbid
when
Tinubu.
it comes to,
why is it not working for Atiku? If
the thing is,
INEC really directed their favored,
it can be true, but I'm not saying it's true. Politically, they are rivals because now they are both fighting for they are fighting for the same position. So if you are not getting it, you find all possible means to accuse the other person of committing crime. It's what we have seen. It has been happening
JBT,
before.
can I ask you a question, please?
JBT.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, you can.
This is the second time you're repeating this, and I really want to come in here.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Yeah, initially you say something about if you were always the first position in your class,
Yeah.
and then you didn't get the first position, that you will start complaining, right?
Yeah.
All right. Can I ask you this question? Let's say you, JT, you are always the first position in your class, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, there were some new students who came in, right? And then they took the first position while you took the second position. But then you as JBT, you know that you did very well in your exam, right? Number one, you know that you did excellent job. Number one. Number two, you know that the new student has been going to the teacher's office often, right? And there has been some kind of mago movement around here and there, right? This is number two. Number three, you've seen that the new student, maybe the parents donated money to the school, donated money to your teacher, right? And then maybe use the family's name to start a scholarship, right? And then number four, this new student is not more intelligent than you are. He's not even as intelligent as you are, right? He's not as fit as you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have more experience as you have in that school. Are you telling me that you're going to accept the results as it is? I want a yes or no answer.
Your comparison to political comparison is two different things. Firstly, your comparison.
Tell me why it is.
It's different. You gave a clear evidence, a clear proof for me to doubt the teacher on my mark. You understand?
Okay, can I tell you?
There is different accusation I can use on my teacher. Like there is a connection between this student with you. A parent is close to you. They donated this to the school. You understand? But concerning this political situation, there is no proof to tell us INEC received money from any candidate.
Can I give you information on that?
Okay.
Number one, there were people, the people INEC sent to the polling station, polling units. Those people, the ones who didn't read their results, some of them complained. Like right now, Labour Party are collecting different evidence from people providing evidence of result manipulations. And I'm going to tell you one by one of the kind of result they have gotten so far. Number one, people who went to polling units, right? People that worked for INEC, that went to polling unit, did the counting, wrote the numbers of people that voted, and gave to INEC. Some of them are complaining that the result that they got is different from what was uploaded on INEC server. Number one.
Yeah.
Number two, there were people who voted, right? They voted, took pictures, went back home. Even you guys remember before INEC started calling their own results, we have seen results ourselves. Like the picture we're flying everywhere, right?
Sure.
Yes. These people, they took the pictures and left after the election. And then they after INEC uploaded the pictures on their server, you can see that some of these results were changed. How did it change? How? This is number two. This is number two. Number three, there has been evidence of people who collected $100, $200 in River State. $100, $200 in River State, and they themselves changed the result themselves. I've had like two people now. One was on Facebook looking for how to exchange dollar to naira. The other one was foolish enough. Hold on. The other one was foolish enough to make a video of herself and the dollars. He was foolish enough to make the video of herself and the dollars and said, and I quote, and said that this was the money Wike gave them. Number
please,
three.
Mute your mic, please.
This is number three. This is number three. Number four, there has been video evidence of 3 coppers. One of them was bleeding like I heard he died. Yeah, the rest of the two were you saw the video, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yes. Thank you. This is number 4. Number 5 on the INEC server.
Mr. Carrots, look.
Hold on, number 5. I know you will keep on counting more.
I know you will keep on counting
exactly.
more.
You were telling exactly. I'm telling you this because
it is what we saw. But
exactly.
It is what we saw.
Why are you telling
I
me
want you to know something. I want you to know something.
Okay.
What we are not there, we shouldn't just accept. We know the disadvantages of our medias. We know the disadvantages of our medias. I'm not saying those videos are lying or it's not true. It's true. If it is really true, but we should know that 50% of what we see during this election are all lies. I'm not saying those videos are not true, but we should all know it is what you know. Media quick to propagate negative stuff for people to see. It's a season of emotions. They know people are only moved by the emotion. That is why a lot of them use this media to after this I'll go and do this. Compromise the polling unit. I'm not saying it's a lie, and I'm not saying they are truthful. But we should all know that in a game of politics,
Excuse me, please.
Political parties.
Please, can I say something?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah. You can say so. Yeah.
Please, I want to call the attention of the organizers of this meeting.
Okay.
This meeting has a theme. Yes, it has a theme. And if I could recall vividly, the theme has 3 sections: pre-election, post-election, and the vote.
Yeah.
So please, we shouldn't focus on one aspect of the theme, and we have limited time.
Oh, yeah.
So if I can just the whole discussion now from the beginning it's all dwell on the pre-election, or say when the election took place. So now let's strategize the time so that we can discuss about these 3 aspects, which is very, very important actually.
Oh,
to
thank
me,
you, sir.
Because this thing is getting longer, you know.
Over to the host.
All right, sir. Humble Cloud. Okay, like maybe me as already called our attention to the limited time we have. So let's try to make our contributions brief. Okay. So over to you, Humble Cloud. Now we saw the outrage at the Coalition Center by Dino Melaye and other party agents that did not agree with the election, the results that the INEC was calling out. So now, at the end of the day, they both worked out and they had a joint press conference, to talk to the rest of the country about what they feel was not right the INEC was doing. So now, do you think a joint conference is necessary?
Actually, when it comes to a joint conference, I think the way the media is portraying is like saying that, oh, PDP and Labour Party are joining hands to fight APC. No, I don't think it's like that.
But that is how it looks. That is how it looks.
No. You got it wrong. Okay. Hey, James, I know you're coming there.
No,
okay, let me finish.
But
okay.
Truth be told, individual party can fight for their rights.
It's not. Actually, both of them are coming in like kind of like a group, like saying it's not like they're working together. They're coming in to say, okay, we all that
are sure you they are not working together.
And how did they work together? Can you bring the proof that they're working together? So now both of them are coming to
work together. This is it. When you want to take over power from somebody.
Okay, JBT, let me finish. It's not. I think you're being
okay. Let me prove that they are working together. Let me just say something that will make you understand that they are working together.
Okay.
While they were making that press conference, other party agents were there saying that they are okay with the process. And those other parties, they didn't join hands as the PDP and the Labour were doing. No.
Yeah.
They went there separately and said that, okay, we agree with this. They didn't join hands. So I wouldn't you agree that they are
okay, let me ask something. Let me ask a question. When you have nothing to lose at an election, wouldn't you agree to join with the winning team so you can get a benefit?
No. How can you say they have nothing to lose?
How can you have nothing to lose? These are things they paid for.
Some of them have zero
money.
The process was ongoing. It was you cannot conclude. You can
no.
They did it.
Bros, only three parties were winning states. None of them, apart from NNPP that won the Kano states and other few states.
Okay, so now at least
there are only 4 parties that were in the race. So do you expect like AGN to come and say, oh, I'm fighting? What do they fight for? They don't have nothing to lose. So they have to accept with APC to get some appointments.
At least you brought one exception, which is the NNPP, right? So now NNPP says they are okay with the process. What can you say about that? And they said that separately without joining hands with other parties and
joining with the PDP.
Yes.
Look at it in this way. Okay, now number one, NNPP, maybe they won only 2 states now. This guy has been Kongwaso has been contesting almost every year. He has not gone anywhere forward. Understand? So these are now Labour Party came and said, okay, we're not going to see this result.
You are wrong. You are wrong on that. You are wrong. This was his first time of contesting. This was his first time of contesting.
That manipulated Labour Party to their side.
Which one? PDP?
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of PDP. I'm a fan of Labour Party. So actually, I know that
PDP manipulated Labour Party to their side on this issue.
No. Number one,
it was obvious in the world.
JBT, in the result that we had in Akwa Ibom State, PDP manipulated the results, APC manipulated the results. Number one, in that result in Obotakara, that result was from APC. Now that result was fully manipulated. In the result in Itu, PDP manipulated the result. Those 2 parties, APC and PDP, are like 5 and 6. They're brothers and sisters. So
Labour Party now had to accept to do a press conference with the PDP that manipulated the results.
No, that press conference you're talking about was, okay. No, wait. That press conference you're talking about was that it wasn't only attended by PDP and APC. But no, it wasn't only attended by PDP and Labour Party. Okay, wait, let me finish. Now, in that press conference, we had Labour Party representative, we have PDP representative, we have a lot of parties representing that meeting.
Only 3 parties.
Okay,
only 3 parties, but they have to step down those other parties because they are young. They have lesser chance to the party.
Now,
only the Labour Party and the PDP spokesman was anchoring the event.
Nobody said that most of them were not able to anchor the events. Actually, that press conference was being called by PDP, and then other PDP made the press conference to join them. So now, okay, do you tell me that Labour Party will make a different press conference, NNPP will make a different? No, all of them came in together and said, okay, let's make a press conference.
Why can't you make a different conference?
That doesn't mean they're working together, man.
Can I come in here?
Right.
Can I come in here?
Sure.
In short,
JBT, I would like to.
There's nothing wrong in conference, press conference that it helps together, right?
There's nothing wrong with it.
There's nothing wrong with that. Please, can you mute that person?
Yeah,
yes.
somebody's phone is.
There's not.
Come on, right on.
Right.
Yeah, so there is nothing wrong between Labour Party and PDP coming together to have a press conference, right?
Why?
Now, I think it's the word we are using here.
We are just saying that they were ganging up. They were ganging up against APC. Simple. Coming up to do
No,
the
it's not. It's not ganging up. No.
No.
Mr. Kaios,
Let me explain.
Mr. Kaios, can I say something?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you think
Yes.
PDP have the interest of Nigeria at heart?
Of course they do not. Of
So,
course they do not.
Do you think that conference with Labour Party is for the interest of Nigeria? Or for their own personal self?
Interest of Nigeria. Listen, let me explain to this. What is the conference about? The conference was simply answering a question, right? They throw questions to them, they reply to them. That was what it was. Nothing more, nothing less, right? I think is the word we are using here. Join, gang up, which we know it's a bit exaggerated from the real thing, right? The conference was simply to answer the questions because these two parties came together to reject the results. Labour Party came and said, this result is bogus. We are rejecting it. We are not going to accept it. PDP did the same thing. Now, these two parties agreeing to reject the result. This one rejected, that one rejected. Why do they have to be on a separate places to have a press conference?
But do you know
why?
If it was to be like this, then it should be a single party contesting for the election. If they all have the same interest at hand.
Exactly my point of view. Also.
Do you understand? Each
now let me answer you, right?
Okay,
let me answer you, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So Labour Party, PDP party. Let me explain. Like, even if at this point, like, nobody has foreseen that the result will be as it is now, and nobody has foreseen that. None of us would have foreseen that PDP and Labour Party would reject the result, right? This coming together actually shows that within that political space, you know, that people. Is there anybody talking, please?
No one is talking.
Okay, so PDP and Labour Party coming to have a press conference. Nobody would have foreseen that to happen before. And at this point, there is no way they will come and start change PDP and Labour Party coming together and start being like, oh, okay, let Atiku be the president, let Obi be the vice, or let Dati be the president, let Atiku be the vice. It wouldn't happen again. So if you're telling me they're coming together to gang up, for what benefit?
Of course.
For what benefit exactly?
And
who is it going to benefit?
The benefit is to destroy the electoral process so that they know that so that everyone will lose. They know.
Okay, bro.
They know for a fact they were losing. Wait,
no.
they know for a fact they were. Wait, simple.
But
So I'm
do you
telling
know that,
I'm just sorry, I'm trying
Okay.
to say the reason for the gang up.
Mr. Chaos, Mr. Ambu, do you know PDP also involving election malpractice?
Yep, I knew that one very perfectly.
believe so too.
I already said in the call. I told you already that PDP also manipulated their election. Now, okay, now let me ask you a question, JBT.
No, you said
What
you
of
know.
what of Labour? Labour they
No,
involved, right?
Labour never manipulated the election. No.
I'm not going to Labour. You know PDP is involved in election malpractice too.
Yep.
So you know PDP is involved in election malpractice, and coming to you that INEC shouldn't proceed with the electoral process because APC is winning. And you think that is for the benefit of the country or
JBT,
for
let me
their
explain
own party?
Okay, JBT, now during the press,
Okay.
Did you listen to the press conference? Did you listen to the press conference very well?
What was the conference? I listened.
Okay, number one. Okay, now even ADC was in the press conference. Now they made a request that they want a re-election. That election, they want the election to be cancelled. They want a new INEC chairman. But they don't care who he's from. But they want
you know you
can't
remove an INEC.
Wait. Yeah, they want INEC chairman. Yakubu was found in Lagos at Tinubu's house. They tell him what
Humble. Sorry.
Bros,
Humble.
please bring
Humble.
in accusations that are not there, please.
No.
Sorry, I don't know why. Humble, relax, please. I don't know why.
Give ourselves the chance to speak. Please.
I don't know why we are arguing about like this one coming together, that one coming together. It's not a sensible argument because that's not the main point here. The thing is, if there's an election and then a party wins and the other parties are not okay with how the election was conducted, they're going to obviously come out and say this is what we want to do or this is our problem with the election. Doesn't mean they're coming together. Even if they say at the same podium whatsoever, it doesn't matter. That's not the main thing. It doesn't matter if they come together to say it or if they don't come together to say it. They say the same thing. It doesn't matter. The argument is, wait, Mr. Alaga, sorry. The argument now is there are evidences, obvious evidences that there was malpractice during this election. That's what we should be talking about, and not like this one come together to go against APC. No, if PDP won, APC, LP, and the other ones will also come out and say the same thing. Are we going to say APC is ganging up against PDP? No, that's not the argument now. Let's talk about if there's any way.
Same thing I was referring to at the start. I said if it was to be PDP that is leading, they won't accept to whatever any other party to is saying. Just like the way APC just did too.
Exactly.
It's just it's a game. It's who is winning that will tell you others are saying shit.
See, that's the problem. That's the problem with the youth now and Nigeria in general. Anytime we talk about election and what went wrong with the election, people start talking about this is politics. This is politics. This is politics. Politics doesn't mean you should rig an election. Politics means you can use whatever power you have, media, or whatever it is you have to smear the other person's campaign. That's what politics is. So if there is a rigging, we need to make sure that we point it out that this is what happened and we find a way to correct it. Not that anytime there's a problem, we say, oh, because you are in support of APC, you say, oh, that's politics. That's politics. It has happened. You need to learn how to play politics. You need to. Rigging is not politics. Rigging is corruption.
Is not politics. I'm not in support of rigging.
But that is exactly what we hear across the border when it comes to APC people. That's all we hear. You need to learn how to play politics. That's not politics. Rigging is not politics. You told us.
Can I say something?
You know what's funny? There's no way that can convince me in this God-given earth that this election was free and fair. I'm here. I'm going to convince you, inshallah.
We had
10 million
10 million
Bros,
new registered
bros,
voters.
I'm here.
Do you know that?
I am here.
Sorry,
You said there's nobody.
Make I just finish.
Please,
Make
you
I
said
finish,
there's
I beg.
nobody. I'm here to convince you. But finish what you are saying.
Are they come?
Finish what you are
Sorry,
saying.
wait. Make I just finish, I beg. Like, there's no way you're gonna say we have 10 million new registered voters. If we had just APC and PDP running this election, there's no way we're going to have 10 million new registered voters. It's not possible because people are going to be like, these are two powers, let them fight it out. Whoever wins, wins. But now people saw hope in a new party, especially in the man called Obi. And they say, you know what, I'm going to come out and vote. 10 million new registered voters. Now, you now bring out the results with different numbers. This person has this number. People who counted it has this number. People who took videos have this number. And then people who now registered it on the whatever online server also has a different number. Now you not tell me that there was no rigging or the election was free and fair. You can't convince me on that. 10 million people came out just because of Obi. And then this is now the different story you're hearing. There's nothing you can say that can salvage.
Wait, okay, please, can you give me time? Can you give me time?
Let me just.
Please, can you give me time?
Let me just make my position because I'm going for a
wait.
No.
I want to ask the.
Please, the host. It's not about asking questions. He made a challenge that nobody will prove to him. Nobody will prove to him that this election is not free and fair.
If this election want to be free and fair, so it must be Obi that must win the election. Is that what we are saying?
No, you guys don't understand what happened.
Exactly. This is an absolute question.
The argument was that the INEC chairman was supposed to upload the results.
Decorum,
know that this is the best election that we ever had since 1999. I'm telling you, you don't know what is going on. You don't know. Are you telling me that all the votes that Obi got from the southeast is free and fair election? No manipulation.
Wait, let me just make my own comments.
Guys, please, let me say something. You guys are not giving somebody a chance to speak now.
Okay.
The point NiDO is trying to make was that the INEC chairman from that, and after voting at the polling unit, they are going to upload the result on the server. If that was done, all these arguments will not have. I don't know what people are even arguing.
Okay.
The INEC chairman knows what he's doing. He said that after voting at the polling unit, they will upload the result. Why did Nigeria spend 300 billion naira to buy that Beavers machine? He said it 57 times that after voting at the polling unit, they will upload the result on the server so that there will be no rigging. There will be so that we can be monitoring the result in real time, how they do in America and other advanced countries. So, but why did he change his mind? They still use 2015 pattern. That is what Labour Party and PDP is challenging. Maybe Tinubu can still win, but they just want the right process to be followed. I know everybody rigged, even Labour rigged, PDP rigged, APC rigged, all of them rigged. You only rig at where you have power. Like I know in Southeast.
You only rig where you have power.
I think
where you have power, as in where you have the power. That's where you have majority.
What I want to hear.
That's the truth. But what
you acknowledge
trying to say is that everybody.
So you acknowledge the fact that everybody rigs, right?
They want the process to follow the normal this thing. Upload the result at the polling units. That was the only problem that INEC guy cannot answer. That's to show you that man is compromised. He was very quiet, but he said he was going to do it. If he had uploaded the result at the polling unit, we will not be even having this argument. Maybe Tinubu won. Maybe Tinubu will still win, but it would have been very transparent. All those nonsense that Wike has lost respect. That thing that Wike did. I think they killed two coppers. Wike is a finished man politically. If you see the way they hate him, if he's not careful, they're going to vote his candidate out or something. Wike is finished. They say Wike was changing result with his hand.
We might not
My
like
lecturer
Wike,
friend said Wike was changing result with his hand.
Please let Mr. Ibrahim speak. I want him to convince me.
Okay, so there's
Okay.
In the comment section that says this is not politics. Coming from Theodora Okonkwo, this is not politics. It's disdainful. It was not free and fair. Let us listen to this guy I guess that's directed to Mr. Yunusa. Let us listen to this guy convince us that it was free and fair. Oh God, my guy, what's up now? You understand that? So now that is coming from another angle, from Theodora Okonkwo, who believes that this election is just not free and fair. And Mr. Yunusa and probably JBT are of the opinion that to a large extent, or let me just say,
wait, let me speak.
Okay, let him go.
Okay. First of all, my name is Ibrahim, not Mr. Yunusa. That's one.
No. Oh,
secondly,
right, Mr.
my name is Ibrahim. So
okay,
this guy wants me to if you want to analyze a situation, if truly you are truthful to yourself, you want to analyze situation, you have to be objective. You have to look at it. That my friend, he already took position that okay, he's Labour Party fan or whatever. Okay, agreed. So you see, you've already taken position. So it will be difficult for you to view the situation in its real sense, Okay, we are talking about the election in Nigeria that took place just recently. And we want to know whether this election is free and fair or not. If you really want to know whether it is free and fair, you have to look at the actors in the election. From the president, all the executives in this election that took place, and see their fate in their respective states and polling units. That's one of the indicators that will tell you that whether this election is rigged or not. Let me just ask a simple question. From the president downward, do you think President Buhari, as the president of Nigeria under the umbrella of APC, would like to lose his state? This is a simple question. Do you think that will add value to him or not? Do you think somebody in his right sense, being a president of Nigeria and lose election in his own state, do you think that is possible? So these are the questions that you have to ask yourself. Okay, let me analyze all the principles in this election. First of all, the president lost his election in his own state. Do you hear one? Secondly, chairman of APC lost his election in his own state. Do you hear two? Third,
because nobody.
Wait. Listen to me. Listen. Let me finish. We'll talk. Third, the campaign director of APC lost his election in his own state. Most of the governors lost election. You know how staunch he was in APC and the movement of Bola Tinubu. He lost election in his own state. So what do you want to prove?
I don't know.
How can you say also, okay, you mean all those guys, they don't want to win election or they don't know how to manipulate all this?
And even though to buttress your point, my brother, the so-called Labour Party wins some state in the northern part of the country, and you are
yes. I'm coming to that point. My brother, I'm coming to that point. Let me prove to you again. Look, if you want to know, like people always say, we the Northerners, we are very good at analyzing political situation. This is just a fact. You have to accept this part. Eastern part of the country, they are very good in enterprise and so on. Southern part in administration and so on. But we, the Northerners, we are very good at politics. You have to agree on that. So let me analyze something for you to understand. If you really want to know how somebody will win an election, you get it? You have to know how, if you are able to just have a political strength in your own space, the tendency of you winning election, it's not even possible in Nigerian context. Let me just tell you a fact. It's not possible. So for somebody dreaming that Labour Party will win election in Nigeria is a dream.
Please,
I swear to God, it's a dream.
This is not the first time we are contesting election in Nigeria.
That person is a dreamer.
Yeah. So let me explain to you the reason why it is a dream. Let me explain to you. In 2007, that I could recall vividly, okay, 2007, that was the first time I could recall vividly that President Buhari contested for election in Nigeria. We all knew that it's a well-known fact that northern part of Nigeria has the most, it has the highest population in Nigeria. But did Buhari won election in 2007? No. Even though, yes, we agree there was rigging and so on. But me as a northerner and me as somebody who voted for Buhari, I knew he didn't win election in 2007. Do you know the reason why? The simple reason was because President Buhari think that northern part of Nigeria will be enough for him to win election in 2007. He didn't cooperate with the Southwest. He didn't cooperate with the Southwest. That was exactly the same mistake he made in 2011. That was the same mistake he made in 2011. And I can categorically tell you, I am a northerner, I'm a Hausa man, but I swear to God, Goodluck Jonathan won 2011 election. Because I was there, I experienced it, and I analyzed the situation. Goodluck Jonathan won. Okay, let's come to 2015. Do you know the reason why Buhari won 2015 election?
Please make
because
your
because he joined hands with the southern part, Southwest, which is the Ahmed Bola Tinubu. That was just the reality. That was the reason why he won the election. So you cannot think that no, by considering your holes, no matter whether it's rigging or not, you win election. It's not possible. It's not possible.
I already told them that Peter Obi.
Sorry,
I did not already tell them that Peter Obi.
And secondly, last time. This is the last time.
There's a flaw in your argument.
Wait. I agree. Okay, you will counter my agreement later. You counter my agreement, but let me finish this. Let me prove to you one. Okay, let me prove to you the last point that this election was free and fair. Look at the numbers. Look at how Labour Party penetrated northern part of Nigeria. Look at how it penetrated northern part of Nigeria. So do you think if they decided to rig this election, Labour Party will be able to penetrate northern part of Nigeria? It's not possible. They allowed the vote of people to count. That was the reason why you see Labour Party going to the northern part of Nigeria and taking the state. Nasarawa was won by Labour Party. What's it called? This not central, aside from Taraba. Taraba is even cornered, but it was won by Labour Party. So the numbers are there, everything is there. You just look at it objectively, you understand that this, I'm not saying that there are no issues in the election there, here and there, which is going to be the case till the end of time, because people were moved by emotion. Sometimes some polling units will be destroyed due to commotions and so on. But that shouldn't be a reason to say that this election wasn't free and fair. It's not. That's just the argument.
All right, sir.
Mr. Ibrahim, there's a serious flaw in your argument. The math is not mathing at all.
Okay.
Because
the host is saying something. Let him talk.
No. Sorry, we're still going to get everybody to make contributions. So, but we don't have the wealth of time to deliberate over everything. And you know, these are the issues that if we have even 24 hours, it might not be enough to iron out all this, many of these things. So we'll still come back to some of this if time permits us. But please, let's try and look at some other aspects of the discussion while we see if we can come back to the current unsettled one. So now, Mr. Ponzi, right?
Yes,
after the whole coalition, and when it was already looking likely that APC was going to wrap up this thing, now someone, an elder statesman, former President Olusegun Obasanjo, came out to give a press conference and he said some things which some players in the field felt might lead to an unfavorable event. So, do you personally feel the press conference? I mean, or let's say the words of President Olusegun Obasanjo. Do you feel it's necessary for him to do such a thing? And coming from the kind of person he is, do you think he should just make such a release to the public and taking sides with some candidates and at the expense of or as against the stand of the INEC? Do you feel that that release was necessary?
We are living in a democratic country, and there's something called freedom of speech. Be it necessary or not, he has the right to say whatever he wants to say. Even though we all know the history of Obasanjo, he is also the king of rigging too and corruption. So it sounds quite hypocritical looking at what he said. But one thing I also can say is only a thief knows a thief when they see one. Only a crook knows a crook when they see one.
So are you saying that others that recognize APC as a thief in this election are also a thief?
You say?
Are you saying that? Are you saying that?
Wait. Let him say what he wants to say, please.
You said only a thief can recognize a thief.
Yes.
So I'm saying, are you saying indirectly that Labour Party, PDP, and others, they know they are thief too? That is why they could recognize APC as a thief in this election.
The thing is, in every single point of one's life, you always have the tendency of being a thief, whether in a big way or in a small way. That is just life. But the thing is this: from his letter, it's not obvious as to the fact that like he's in support of one party or another. Maybe from his past statements he has made, we know who he's supporting. But from the letter, we can say, okay, this is who he's supporting. But he brought out that letter and to the president, and he knows what he's saying. But the main thing I want to actually address is the math that Mr. Ibrahim gave us that I'm still trying to solve. That's the main thing I want to address. I don't know if you would allow me to do that.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, so Mr. Ibrahim, you said that number one, if there was any rigging or any unfair election, there's no way the president is going to lose his the president-elect is going to lose his stronghold or whatsoever, his unit. But one thing you need to understand that they don't need those places to win. In fact, I'm glad you even said this, that the North or ABC, whatever, they are good at political analysis. Anybody who is smart at political analysis, we know that rigging in your own unit is going to be obvious that there was a rigging. So you wouldn't want to go and be rigging your own unit because number one, you don't need your unit to actually win the election. The other places you focus on that you might think people would not put their eyes on because it's not your own unit. And also, one thing that always
you made a point. Can I add on this point? Please,
let me finish, Mr. Ibrahim. Let me finish, Mr. Ibrahim. Let me finish. I let you land. My plane never even reached. It's still there 50,000 feet. One crash.
Okay.
Now, my guy, and then you said one thing that always trumps analyzing is facts. You can analyze from Nancy and eternity, but when there's fact on ground, your analysis becomes by the way. There are facts on the ground, like Mr. Prosper has even said also, that you said you're going to upload this, you didn't upload it, but rather you decided to do it manually. People who have the result from their polling units found out that the result that was given to us by INEC is different from what they got from their polling units after the counting was done. That's obvious unfair election that is going on there. These are facts that are on the ground. So whatever analysis you are making, this one cannot lose his whatever unit. This one cannot do that. It doesn't matter right now. What matters is what we are seeing. And also, you said Labour Party was able to penetrate enough. If Labour Party was able to penetrate enough the way they did, and also they have the East, they have a good, if not most of the South, they also have a good number in the West. Is that not enough for them to win the election? The election is free and fair. Since you said they're able to penetrate enough in a big way. So every single thing you said, none of them actually helped your argument that there was a free and fair election. In fact, it did the other way. It was just otherwise. It just destroyed your argument that there was a free and fair election. Because everything you're saying is you trying to use your political knowledge to blind our eyes. But no, now our eyes know they blind. We dey wear glasses. We no blind us.
Okay. So thank you, my brother. You really tried, but let me strike on your points one by one. First of all, you made mention of the fact that you don't need to win your polling unit or your stronghold for you to win the election. My brother, you are not a politician, so that's why you are saying this. Actually, seriously, you are not a politician. That's why you are saying this. Every politician in this world, he wants political relevance. Not because of now, because of aftermath later. If you don't show if you don't show to us that you are politically relevant, brother, in the subsequent election, you won't be relevant. And go and ask any politician who has tested the test of power and lose it, and tell you the grievances they are going through for not being for not being political relevant. So you are saying this just because maybe you are academics, I don't know. Me, I'm academics too, but you are saying this purely because maybe it is not your expertise. But brother, we are talking about a campaign coordinator of a whole party, an incumbent government party, APC, lost his stronghold, and you are saying it is not relevant, or it's not an argument. We are saying a presidential elect, a Jagaban, whom we all know is a political giant in Nigeria, losing his stronghold, you are saying it's not relevant. My brother, can you analyze this statement?
Mr.
Can you analyze this statement?
So now you are saying that now that he has lost now they've lost their units. What you are saying is that now they are irrelevant.
Of course, no. It is clearly showing that there's a problem.
You are contradicting yourself now, Mr. Ibrahim.
Wait. What I'm saying is that it's clearly showing that there is a problem. There's a problem, a clear problem. You know,
the clear problem is that people wanted a change, and then because Mr. Men think that their unit is already held for them, and decided to focus on other places that they can read. You think my unit is going to be mine.
Okay.
But they found out that instead of putting those resources to actually hold their units, they found out that there's somebody in that people want and has taken that unit. Why they were focusing on rigging other places.
Rigging other places. Okay, can you give example for us places where they rigged, please?
I can give you example.
I don't even need to give you an example. I'm sure you have seen the videos. I don't even need to even waste my time to give you.
You are the one. You are the one who admitted. Wait. Listen to me. Listen to me.
Examples. There were videos running around on the internet.
Exactly.
So are you saying those things are okay? Those things they are doctored. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying. Let me even buttress your point. You too here in this platform, you admitted that everybody rigged, or you in a way. You admitted that. So what are you trying to prove?
I didn't admit that.
Okay.
That Mr. Prosper.
Okay, now Mr. Prosper, but Mr. Prosper and you are on the same boat. Or you want to counter him now?
See, I don't care who did the same boat though. Because if the boat they sink, my guy, I go wrong. I don't care.
So in reality, just let me just tell you, this is a fact. Those small issues that happen is not really a a strong evidence for you to dispute this election that it is it's not free and fair. That's just a reality you have to accept, my brother. It's just the reality you have to accept.
See,
Yes.
no matter how small it is,
So this is
Ibrahim, no matter how small it is, even if that one vote, it's not more free and fair. Even if that one vote they change, it's not
that
longer
is
free
not
and
a
fair.
point of argument. That is not a point of argument, but it's not
But
substantial.
that's argument if it was free and fair. Even if that one person
Let me quote President Obasanjo on this issue we are trying to make.
Thank you.
Even if Jesus will come down, will not conduct free and fair. That was what President Obasanjo said. If you are saying that even one vote, that's the reality, right?
My own point is that this election is free and fair than the one conducted by Obasanjo himself.
Thank you for the contribution. Thank you for the contribution. So now, Mr. Kyles, from the onset, was actually of the opinion that the election was what INEC did. They could have done better. That was the angle he is coming from. So now that I don't know if we all agree that INEC have their shortfall, and it's a general acceptable fact from everybody. So, but with this,
wait. I have something to say on this. Can I say something? Sorry, sir,
please let me quickly finalize on this. So now that we accept generally that INEC
no, I don't accept. That's why I want to say something. Yes, I don't accept.
No, but
I did not accept. No, I did not accept. I did not accept. I did not accept. You are speaking on my behalf. I didn't accept this.
No, we can't say. I'm also coming from a neutral point of view now. We can't say
Ibrahim, please let the.
So you are saying INEC is not flawed.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah. So now, with the shortfalls in place, and we all speak with one voice that there are some shortfalls in some aspects of the organization. Now that a winner has been declared, do you see it as a necessity for the losers of the election to send congratulatory message to the winner while they plan on seeking redress in court? Or should they just mute and don't do anything in the
I don't think that one is even necessary.
Can you say something about this this particular observation? That okay, if while they are still aggrieved about the result of the election and a winner has been announced, so do you think it's necessary for the losing parties, most especially the titans in the game, to send congratulatory message to the to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu that congratulations on the winning of the election, but we are still going to fight it in court, or we are still going to protest, or we are still going to do this and that? So do you think it's necessary?
No. Actually, I think actually the whole issue is like Labour Party and PDP and the rest. Mostly Labour Party, what they have in ground and all the evidence, take it to the tribunal, the election tribunal, because I don't think if you are congratulating Tinubu, it's like you telling me, oh, thank you for rigging. Thank you for winning the election by rigging. That's what the meaning. So I don't think they should congratulate Tinubu for anything there, because that election wasn't number one, free and fair. The whole thing
not even for the sake of peace to reign. Like, okay, temporarily let's have peace, and while
what peace? How do we even have peace when you rig the election? When you kill people to rig the election, how do you have peace? That even peace? Do you look for peace? You as a APC number one, you were not looking for peace when you were destroying, using talk to attack people.
Do you have a contradicting opinion about that?
Yeah, you said, okay, you are referring to me?
Mr. Yunusa.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Mr. Tanko Yunusa, do you have a contradicting opinion? Do you think congratulation message is necessary at this point in time, but while they seek redress in court?
Although in my own opinion, I think it's for the sake of peace. I think it's good if they can do that. And if they also have rights to challenge the results anyway, legally. So I will appeal to them to at least to congratulate for the peace to reign in the country.
Okay. So, but he was saying earlier that congratulating them is more like an indirect way of admitting the result, even though it was a rigged election.
Yes.
Yeah, it's also right in that way. But to me, I don't see any big deal in that. So they can congratulate the new elected president.
I think there's a big meaning of that. When you
Please, you guys are sidelining us in this discussion. This particular thing.
No.
Okay, can I say something?
Okay.
Okay. First of all, there's a legal argument on the issue of uploading the result from the collation center in the Vivas as stated by the INEC chairman himself. There's a legal argument on that. Mind you, what is guiding us in this country is the constitution and the electoral act in this current situation. So the electoral act has to pass through, the chambers, the third of one of the arms of the government, right? The Senate and so on. So I listened to the what's it called, the Senate president on this particular issue that people were raising about the results were not uploaded from the beamers, from this and so on and so forth. So he made a legal argument on that. He read the bill so many times. He made that admission, and it was clear. What the law says about the result is that from the polling units, when the counting is done, and all the party agents sign that form, it is their own responsibility to take the pictures and everything, evidences of the election that took place in that place, and use it as evidences for them to prove whether what they are claiming is true or not in the court. This is just something about that. So the INEC chairman saying that, okay, at the point sending it to the viewers, it's not written in the electoral act. It's not a constitution. It's not written in the electoral act. It's just a way of buttressing that, okay, we are doing our job, but legally.
So
wait.
So what? Okay.
Legally, all the party agents signing that form and taking the pictures, and of course all the pictures are there in the internet for everyone to see, so it's enough evidence for somebody to prove to prove that. Yeah. So in reality, holding that as an argument that, okay, the INEC didn't send the picture from the beavers and so on and so forth, it's not really a strong argument to present in the court, because we are guided. The court will make rulings based on the electoral process. The electoral act and so on and so forth. So seriously, don't even consider snapping the picture with beavers. Why didn't the INEC chairman did that? It's not really an argument. It's not really an argument. That's just one.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this particular question I want to ask now is directed to the obedience in the House, although the people from the other parties also. So next ones among us here, Humble Cloud and Pius. Now you heard after the declaration of the winner of the election, but the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his speech, said he was going to encourage an all-inclusive government. So now, as a supporter of Peter Obi, who temporarily, let's not say he has lost, but who at the moment has lost the election. Now, let's assume that Tinubu was eventually sworn in and he wants to bring Peter Obi on board to join his government and run it together. As an Obi supporter, will you be happy if Obi decides to join Tinubu in his government and run Nigeria as a whole?
Okay, now, actually, for me, when you look at that question, actually, it's like you're trying to important, number one, because when you look at the people surrounding Tinubu as a whole, like his cabinet, the people that are campaigning with him, the people surrounding him, you will see that the people surrounding him are not even people. Now look at it, I'm going to talk about the form of they're going to talk about Gospel like Akpabio in Akwa State. The people surrounding even Tinubu at the first doesn't show a sign of positivity. So number one, now the issue why people we are supporting Peter, accountability and transparency. That's the meaning of a leader. That's what we did in Nigeria. We don't want the issue with Nigeria has been an issue of corruption, whereby people have been money has been missing. A lot of issues. Goats have been stealing money. Monkey has been stealing money. So for me, Tinubu making that statement is just as a sign of it's just bringing a sign of saying, oh, I want. It's like it's just kind of a democratic statement. But that doesn't mean he's going to do it.
So you rather prefer Peter Obi to be dormant for the next 4 years than to join in the running of the government?
Yes.
Current government.
Simple.
Mr. Kaios, are you of the same opinion also?
Sorry, I think I have a different perspective on this though. The thing is, if Tinubu is able to deliver, we don't have a problem. Because the idea of Peter Obi is not about we want this man because his name is just Peter Obi and he's from the East. We want someone who's going to be able to deliver. And the reason why most people, are not in support of Tinubu, like people who don't support Tinubu, the reason why they don't support him is because, number one, if you look at his age, I'm sure he's having cognitive decline. He's obviously not going to be the one running that country. It's the people around him, like what's his name? Humble has said. And the people around him are not the people that have Nigeria in mind. So it's not that we want Peter Obi just because he's Peter Obi or just because he's an Igbo man. We want somebody that is going to be the leader of Nigeria and have the people of Nigeria in mind. That's the problem.
If your argument is true, why didn't you go for Kwankwaso? Why didn't you go for Kwankwaso? Well, in reality, Kwankwaso has more credentials, has more experience,
Mr. Ibrahim.
If Kwankwaso had to be the vice president,
I'm listening. Me, your argument is
he doesn't want to be the vice. He wanted to be the president. Which is
Wait, listen to me, brother.
He's greedy that he doesn't have our best interest at heart. That's the problem.
Kwankwaso, this was the time for the South to bring out a president. Now, even Buhari accepted that this was time for the South to bring out a president. So Kwankwaso is from the North, number one, if you understand. No, it was time for the South to bring out a presidential candidate. So now,
that means we are not practicing democracy anymore, right?
Why is that
democracy? You know this is not democracy, right?
Humble.
Mr. Ibrahim,
at this moment, the idea of tribe is something that's been thrown away. Even if now some man, I'm na Igbo man, I'm na Yoruba man, the thing is, let me not say we. I do not care who it is that is there. But as long as you have the collective interest of Nigerians in mind, that's the most important thing. It doesn't matter where you're from. We did not go for Kwankwaso. Most of us don't even know who Kwankwaso is. Most of us didn't know until when election was even over. Most of us didn't know.
I have a lot
Like
to
I
say,
even told you, Mr.
Governor, I don't
Ibrahim,
want
I
to
told you,
interrupt.
I would
Can
have
I say
preferred
something?
Kwankwaso
Can I
to
say
even
something?
Tinubu. I told you this in the group.
Mr. Pomzi.
One of the invited speakers is here, Mr. Kuti. Am I right?
Moderator, can I say something, please?
Okay. So
You asked the question particularly and Cloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I want to invite you to give
I think there's an interference in your speaker. Okay.
Okay, just stopped. So please try to give people some minutes to talk. Like not let people like just jump from anywhere. Stop people from what they were saying. And maybe like 2 minutes, 3 minutes for people to make their point, and everybody give their own point, and we move into the next thing. So if that is considered, I would like to reply to the question that you threw between me and Mr. Humble.
Yeah. Okay, and before you go on, I want to also add some points, because Mr. Humble said in his own submission that he would rather prefer Obi to stay away from them completely, and not even join in the running of the government, while even if they invite him. So, but there are some other factors like President Obasanjo. Many people are still missing his administration today on the ground that he also ran this military government where he was able to carry everybody along. And the people we are also talking about here, if you say he should not join Tinubu upon invitation, remember he is also coming from the PDP where he broke out of. So if he could stay with the PDP for such a long time, and ruling party is calling him, please come on board and let us run Nigeria together, why do you think he shouldn't honor such an invitation?
All right.
Go ahead, Mr. Kyle.
All right. I will tell you why I would not advise Peter Obi to be part of the government, right? And Obi was not in PDP for a long time. He only came into PDP when during 2020 election. I think he's been in Apuga for a very, very, very long time before that. So there's a problem here, and the problem is if a criminal invites you to become an organization, even if you're a priest, if you're an imam, there's nothing you will do in that organization of criminal that will make any positive effect, right? And I will give you an example of that. What is his name again? The current vice president of Nigeria, Osibanjo, right? Osibanjo is a very intelligent man. He's a very for the time, there was a time, I think back in 2018, Buhari was not in Nigeria. A lot of things changed within 4 weeks of Buhari's absence, right? He's a very intelligent man. He went to school. I think he has a PhD or something. He's a pastor too. And I believe Oshibanjo has good intentions for Nigeria. But because he was within the bad guys, he was the vice president, he was within the APC government of thugs and touts, him alone could not make any difference in this past 8 years. So if you're telling me Obi should join the same APC that have kept this country in the hell it is for the past 8 years, if you're telling me Obi should join them, what is the point? Obi joined them, they will also frustrate him till the entire government is over. So what is the point of having Obi among criminals, among thugs, among touts, among people who rig election or do anything they can just to get the power in their hands? Obi cannot make a difference. Obi alone cannot make a difference. We have seen what happened to Osibanjo. The same thing is what is going to happen to Obi. And that is why Obi, that is part of the reason Obi left PDP too. If Obi, remember back in 2019, Obi was Atiku's vice. What happened? The mass turn up that we had in this 23 election, nobody came out. Nothing happened. PDP lost the election back in 2019 too. But now, because Obi came out in the midst of those criminals and the people who have made Nigeria hell the way it is now, Obi came out of them, became an individual himself. That alone gave a lot of people hope, gave Nigerians hope that Nigeria could actually be better, that Nigeria can actually change, that this thing that we are hoping for Nigeria to become a better country, to become a great nation, that it can actually happen. That finally we have a president who is not sick, a president who is not an ancestor, a president who went to school and can actually defend and bring the result and certificate that he went to school. A president who has a track record that I have done something before, and he will tell you to go and take, and you will go and take, and you will not find any criminality in any of them. These things gave Nigerians hope that actually, finally, we have actually find the Messiah who can actually drive the country to where we want it to go. And that is why people came out. And that is why people voted. Obi will tell you, Ayana Henye Shishi. We don't give money. Ayana Henye Shishi means, in English, we don't give money. Yes, we're not a gift shishi. We're not giving anybody money. And see, Obi got about 6 million votes in the current election. 6 million votes out of pure organic growth. Pure organic growth. No money was given to anybody. People, Nigerians themselves, we are coming together, bringing money together, making donation, hiring boss. People, we are using every means possible to go and preach about Obi. These people were not paid. They were not given any money. But because Obi gave them that hope that he can actually fix Nigeria. And from when he was the governor, people went and checked. I was in Anambra when Obi was governor. I can tell you many things about him. People went, checked, and it is as he said it was. That is what gave people hope about Obi. And remember, when Obi came out, Labour Party doesn't have Labour Party today. What it is Obi. Remember, people were laughing at Labour Party. You people don't have structure. No structure was able to get 6 million votes. No structure. No structure was able to get all those people coming out, voting, shouting Obi, putting the video online, People were actually happy. For once in a very long time, people were actually having the hope that finally, we have finally found the Messiah who is going to lead this country. We have actually found somebody who has track record. We have finally found somebody who has Tinubu doesn't have school certificates. Buhari, we know what we went through before Buhari gets his wife.
All right.
How much more are we going to continue promoting this mediocre people to be in the government? Nigerians,
Okay, so
all learned people.
Where I'm coming from now is, with all these qualities that you highlighted, wouldn't it sound cruel that instead of trying at least to help Nigerians with all these attributes, join the government and let them run together, and maybe if they make him the minister of works or anything you can contribute to the government at that point in time? Or don't you think it would just be a waste of resources that Obi will just go and hibernate for the next 4 years without doing anything? And of what benefit is that to Nigerians?
Fine.
And as a supporter of Obi, do you feel that is
right? Let me ask you this question, right? If you bring a bowl of cold water, right? A bowl filled with cold water, and then you put a drop of hot water inside the cold water, do you think it's going to make any change at all? No, right? No. Nigeria as it is today is a structure of corruption from head to toe. Every section of the government is corrupt. Now you're telling me, Obi, to work with the government, they are going to frustrate him. It will not make a difference. The only way Obi is going to make a difference is when he becomes the head of that country. When he becomes the president, then he has the power. Him and him alone will have the power to make the changes that we want. How do you expect a building with poor foundation to withstand for a long time? This rigging that happened in this election already made a very poor foundation for this government to start from. It means we are going to be in a very long thing for a long time, in the next 8 years. You know, some people, I don't understand people. I know in this webinar, there are people who support Tinubu, support Atiku and all those things. But I know one thing, most of us in this webinar, if not all of us, want a better Nigeria. All of us want a better Nigeria. But I feel like because of the moment, some people have forgotten the bad things and the bad lucks and the hardships we pass through as Nigerians. In this country that we are, while traveling abroad, most of us have actually accepted to become the second citizen or second human being, or even the third one. Opportunities is going to come. Nobody is going to give you that opportunity. Why? Because you're Nigerian, 1. 2, you're black. So automatically, whatever qualification you have has already put you in the second place. There's no way you can ever be in the first place. It puts you in second place or third place. And some of us have actually become very comfortable with that. And some people here have actually, because of the heat of the moment, or maybe 1 or 2 things happened, they feel like this election is a child's play. It's not. Yes, I'll be rounding up. This current election is not a child's play. This current election is the last straw that we make Nigeria to go to the right way that we want it, or to go downhill. $1 is now $7.50. Maybe by the time Tinubu finishes, maybe $1 will be 5,000 naira. All I'm trying to say is, Obi being in Tinubu's government will never make any difference, because all the bad people in that government, they will frustrate him. It will not change anything. And a good example is Oshibanjo. He's been there for 8 years. What has he done? They didn't allow him to do anything. Even some of the close meetings they have, they don't call him. And him alone cannot do anything. One angel cannot fight 10,000 demons. It is what it is. The only way to make a difference is Obi being the head and having more people, more eligible, competent people to come into different structure of the government, so he can have people to work with, have people to execute the plans he has for Nigerians. From every indication, Obi has proven to be the right candidate, age-wise, experience-wise, certification-wise, because this is the first time we're ever having anybody to show, yes, I go to school, and I have the certificate to show, say, I go to school. Past the records.
Thank you.
So this is what I think, and I want everybody to remember, it's not a child's play. It's every decision we are making will eventually affect us in the long run. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that exhaustive submission. And in the comment section, Marvelous said, to be honest, if Obi was in APC, I would not support him.
You
So
see?
that is another angle to this aspect. So now, this brings me to this next question, which is actually general. Now, yes. We can see that political parties are not accepting this. The losing political parties are not accepting this INEC results in good faith, and many will be going to court to challenge the results. Now, as an APC supporter or an Ashwaji supporter, do you actually think that the courts can overturn these results to favor the opposition who are challenging it? And for the Obi supporters, do you actually hope or expect something positive from the tribunals by the time your cases are being tendered there? So this is like a general question. Like, I want people to make contributions concerning it. Based on what you've seen and what you saw the INEC, their approach to the whole election collation,
yeah.
I mean, the result collation and all those things. Are you hopeful by the time you challenge this, by the time your party challenges this result at the court, are you hopeful that a positive result can come out?
I am. Personally, I am. And I will take you back, you guys, I'll give you guys a little story. Maybe some people know, some people don't know. Back when Obi became the governor of Anambra State, before that, they put Ngige as the governor, right? Obi challenged that result the first time, and he won. He became the governor. They later removed him again, and he challenged the result again the second time. That was how Obi became the governor of Anambra State. So if Obi challenged this presidential result, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
And you're hopeful?
And I'm hoping, yes. And I'm hoping, yes. I am hoping, because for me, this fight is not about let's leave it in the God's hands. God is going to help us. That is the God's will. No. For me personally, I always believe that people with bad intention, They always plan day and night. They don't sleep. They make sure they use all the power they have to make sure that their dreams are actualized. And the good people will also have to do the same. We are people who come online and be like, oh, finally, Tinubu has won. Nigeria will go down the drain. It's none of my business. That is not true patriotism. The true patriotism is to pursue your goal until, no matter what comes your way, pursue it until you actually get it. And Obi has done this before. And I'm hoping all the evidence that they have gathered so far, I'm hoping that he will use it to sue them at court. I'm hoping that he will take this, that it doesn't stop here. I'm hoping they take those people to court, because the evidence is overwhelming. Take them to court, sue their asses, make sure that he gets the mandate. We are not going to leave Nigeria in the hands of these people to oppress us in the next 8 years. No. How old are we? Everybody, take how old you are today. Then I'll add 8 years on top of it. By then, some of you are married. Some of you already have kids, and your kids are growing up. Some of you will probably be in 40s or something. How do you expect your life to be by then if we have this current government ruling us again? 8 years is not 8 days. 8 years is not 8 months. I remember when Buhari became the president, I was back in Nigeria. But now I've been in China for how many years now? And when I look back, it's such a long stretch of time. Long stretch of time till now. And you're telling me we have to endure another 8 years under those people. I swear to God, if Obi call me today, say, make I come help her to these people, I swear I will pack my bag, leave what I'm doing in China and go home.
Okay, sorry, let me quickly chip this in. Okay. You are of the opinion that resilience
Obi sues their
is the
and fight till gets his mandate. Yes.
Of which Marvelous is again saying it here that the court can never do anything positive because APC is the incumbency. So that is from another side.
Yeah, she has
also. But she has a point. But you are strongly of the opinion
that gap is big. We are talking of 2.8 million votes. Which kind of evidence Obi won overturn 2.8 million votes? I mean, when I leave this thing, you guys are not realistic. When I was talking this in the group, when I've been they attacked me, I would have loved Obi to win, but Obi cannot win from only South. See North now. See what Tinubu do for North. Obi cannot win with only vote from South. The gap between Tinubu and Obi is 2.7 million. How Obi won't take overturn? Which kind of evidence he won't take overturn 2.7 million votes?
Let me tell you something. If they bring the actual results, it will surprise you that Obi won in most of the northern states. Yes. If they bring the actual results, it will surprise you that Obi won in most of the northern states.
Which of the other states, bro? Stop saying what you don't know, bro.
I don't believe that one, bro. So another state, Obi not even get 1%.
Nobody would have believed Obi won in Lagos. Nobody would have believed that Obi won in Lagos. Obi would Tinubu in the Jagaban of Lagos. Nobody would have ever believed that Obi will win in Lagos. Right? How did it happen?
Lagos people are sensitized now. How can you compare Lagos people with people from the north? People from the north, they have a voting trend. When once they tell them support this guy, everybody is going out for this guy.
No. That is
you cannot do that in Lagos.
That is where a lot of people get.
Lagos is no man's land. Lagos and Abuja is no man's land. That's why you saw that thing happening like that.
dropped my submission here. Another person can go on.
Please, can I speak now?
Please go ahead, Mr. Ayuti.
Yeah. Good evening. Sorry, I was engaged. I had to come late. First, I don't know how far you guys have gone with the conversation, but I've been here for the last 10 minutes, so maybe I can pick it up from there. Yeah. First and foremost, I want to start on a very different perspective. I'd want to say that this election was actually a referendum against the government of the APC. The Nigerian people spoke against the government of the APC, and it is on record. That is why when you put the votes of the opposing candidates, it beats that of the winner of the election. That is the voice of the people against the incumbent government of the APC. The problem we have here is that all of us are looking at our candidates. We are not thinking how it happened. History has repeated itself that in Nigeria, no opposition can overthrow an incumbent government without alliances and coalition. It doesn't work. Peter Obi got 6-point-something million. Atiku got 6-point-something million. Put it together, that is 12 million. Konkoso had 1-point-something million. Put it together, that is 13 million Nigerians said they were tired of APC regime. 13 million Nigerians, but the opposition was divided. So this actually shows the bias of Nigerians and a referendum against the incumbent party. But unfortunately, opposition is divided. So the votes are divided. Somebody is here spending 10 minutes telling us how Obi is this, Obi is that, Obi is this, Obi is that. The deed has been done. If this opposition had come together, worked together, they would have come up with a very strong force to actually push out the APC government. Then again, you have to look at it from another perspective. When you look at the spread of the results, then you see that this election actually brought to bear our biases as a country. Nigeria is so divided, and it was actually very explicit in this election. That is why there is no any political party, for instance, who had 10% in the Southeast. That is why Peter Obi could not secure 5% in the Northwest. These are the biases of who we are as a nation at this point in time.
Nigeria is divided. Let's stop wasting our time.
It was made bare in the election. So we cannot continue like this. So the person who built the largest network, who stretched his hands across all areas of the country and had the resources of incumbency to him, had the advantage in this election. We know that there were issues, there were incompetencies from the side of INEC, but again, when you look at the spread of votes, you will see that, yes, if the opposition had actually been together, the opposition would have won the election. But the opposition were not together.
Can I bring this in? Like, now you've identified the fault of the opposition that cost them the election. Now, do you, by any chance, see any possibility of the opposition uniting back in the future to fight the ruling party, probably in the upcoming election? Just
Atiku again.
Have that comparative.
Atiku 2027. Atiku and Obi 2027.
Maybe just a united opposition time around. Do you see the possibility of that ever happening?
What I want to emphasize on would be that if we really need a change in Nigeria, we have to build, especially for for the obedient movement. We have to build on the gains of that movement. That movement actually happened in a very short time and achieved a lot. It's like a replay of Buhari in 2015 up north. But the obedient movement went beyond a region. It cut across Nigeria, and there were effects that was felt everywhere. So I think if Nigerians are able to understand that, okay, we fall back and look at our gains and look at our weaknesses and build on it. Between now and the next 4 years, if there will be consistency and give and take extension of networks across the Niger to places where you could not reach in this election, you build trust amongst people, you build trust amongst ethnicity and region, then you have a larger base to talk to. I think the problem we have is all of us, so many of us put our trust in a person. And we believe that since that person did not win the election, everything, like the hope is dashed, of which it is true. We have every right to feel that our hopes are dashed. But again, if it is for country, we always have another time to try. But this is an opportunity for us to sit back and look at our gains and what were the reasons that we couldn't make inroads in some regions or some states. Putting those together, what can we do differently? How can we build between now and the forthcoming election? I think that will help.
Okay.
Thank
Can I
you,
say
sir.
something?
Mr. Humble Cloud, I would love to.
Actually,
Okay, you can still make your contribution, but I would love to put this across to you again, that I actually listened to the acceptance speech of the president-elect, and it actually sounds promising, to be honest. So now, politicians obviously cannot be trusted generally. So, but let's assume that with all the things he said in that acceptance speech, he is humble and honest with them. If Tinubu performs beyond our expectation, do you see it affecting the obedient movement as it is now? You know, the obedient movement actually is gearing towards a better Nigeria. Now, if the current president, by any chance, gives you that hope of a better Nigeria, do you see it actually affecting that obedience movement and the ideology behind it? You can please go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, let me react to that quickly.
Hello. Hello. Okay, Uti, I'm going to react to based on what you said before. I agree with what most of Uti said now. But we are obedient. We have to reflect on a lot of things. Number one, even if it came to a point that next election that Obi wants to contest now and he has to stand with the opposition, let's say Labour Party and other party managed to contest against the incumbent party, which is APC. Now, if you look at it in a way, the issue is not about them merging or like working together. The issue is the institution involved. It's INEC. That's the problem we have in Nigeria. That's the biggest problem we have. It's not APC. It's not the problem we have in Nigeria is INEC as a whole. INEC has been a kind of a cancer that is biting away. No matter what we fight for, even PDP and APC come together, no matter what we fight, INEC always finds a way to make sure that the election is rigged and it's in favor of the incumbent party, understand? Which way by the APC controls INEC. That's the major thing.
Sorry, Humble, can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Are you confident of the results that came from Anambra?
Coming from Anambra, I'm confident of that result.
You're confident of that result?
Yeah, because if you look at 2006,
just a yes or no, just a yes or no question.
Yes.
Just a yes or no question.
Yes.
You're confident with the result that came from Anambra?
I'm coming for it, yeah. And I can explain my point. I can explain my point.
No, sorry. Are you confident of the result that came from Kano?
From the Kano, I'm confident of it, yeah.
Are you confident with the result that came from Katsina?
Katsina, I'm not just confident about it because I'm going to give you why. I'm going to explain my reasons.
Sorry. Let's just stick to the ones you're confident with. Why are you confident with the results from Anambra and Kano?
Okay, now look at Anambra. Actually, in Kano, Kongwaso has been had one of the highest reputation in a country. There's no person in Kano that you would tell them about Kongwaso that would tell you, even if Kongwaso contests in the next 100 years, they're going to vote for him. Now, when it comes to Abga, when it comes to Anambra State, if you look at what happened in 2006 election, when it be contested, understand? If you look at what happened in that election, even when they like he was like almost losing on the election, but the vote was almost the same, which there was a rigging inside. And when Obi brought the evidence to the court of tribunal, it took him a lot of period of time, understand? But he still won it. He still won the election. Understand? He still won the election in 2006. Okay, now let me come to Katsina. Let me come to Katsina. Let me explain to you Katsina. Now in Katsina, when 2000 and when 2000 and I think 2015, I think, yeah, when Buhari contested against Atiku in 2015, the election when Obi was vice president of Atiku. Now you observe that election that even Buhari lost his own state, Buhari his own polling unit in his own, and now this election he lost to PDP in Katsina. Now 2023 election, APC won with a large margin in Buhari state. How possible is it? Did people die in Katsina? No, you should explain to me the variance. I need to understand the mathematics. Like people suddenly converted from PDP, 100 people, no, 500 people converted from PDP to APC Katsina. And do you know that Katsina are one of the people that hates Buhari? They hate Buhari. They don't like Buhari in his own town. But APC won the election in Katsina. Katsina's polling unit. So can you explain to me that part?
The reason I asked you these two questions is simple. If you have confidence of the results that came from Kano, and you had confidence with the result that came from Anambra, bearing in mind that these two results were elections conducted by the same INEC. So how do you now get to the conclusion that INEC is the problem? If in a particular instance,
it's very simple. Okay, let me explain to you. Do you have the confidence of the results coming from Akwa Ibom State? Hello?
I can hear you.
Hello? So are you confident of the result of Rivers State and also Akwa Ibom State?
I am confident of the results from Akwa Ibom.
Bro,
but
that's a
of
lie,
Rivers.
Number one, you are wrong. I'm from Akwa Ibom State.
Listen to me. You asked me a question. I am answering for you. You can't answer my question for me, bro. I am confident of the results that came from Akwa Ibom. I am not confident with the results of Rivers because it was on air. Even the rec of Rivers said he was under serious duress. He had to walk out of the collation center. That is the resident electoral commissioner of Rivers. So that result is under doubt. Whatsoever that came from Rivers is under doubt. My point is this: INEC must have their lapses and their errors, and they must have aided rigging in some places. But what I am saying is that does not warrant the fact that we say INEC completely is a mess. Because if within the same process, there are regions you can confidently speak to the results that INEC presented and acknowledge that these results, you are satisfied with this result. And there are regions where you said you are not satisfied with the result. Are we going to now throw away the baby with the bathwater? No. For regions where you are not satisfied with the results, as it is laid down by the law, go to the court, contest based on evidences, not hearsay, and contest the results of this election. This is my point. We cannot say INEC failed completely, because There are states INEC did very well. Despite the oppression or whatever, the result that came from Lagos actually spoke the mind of the people. That yes, this is the voice of the people. Even though there was suppression and other incidences in Lagos, the result actually showed the will of the people. Likewise, the results from Kano. Likewise, the result from Katsina. With the popularity and the followership Buhari as an incumbent president has, he lost his state to the opposition. These are issues. We can have issues with sections, with regions, with some states. It doesn't mean the institution completely is in a mess. Because if you can accept A and not accept B, why now condemn the whole institution? This is just my point.
Okay, Uti, okay, let me also explain some parts to you, number one. Actually, I'm from Akwa Ibom State, understand. APC has never won election at Akwa Ibom State, starting from I think from 19-something till today, for presidential election. Number one, I'm going to correct you in so many things. Number one, you said you're convinced with the Akwa Ibom State result. And I brought, even in the group, when we're in the chat in the group, I can bring you so many results. I can show you almost like 24 slips of Akwa Ibom State results, and none of them that APC top. So I don't understand how they won the election in Akwa Ibom State. I don't understand the magic INEC did for them in Akwa Ibom State. I don't understand what happened, number one. APC has never won presidential in Akwa Ibom State.
By INEC result, PDP won Akwa Ibom, not APC, sorry. By INEC final result.
Okay,
it's PDP that won Akwa Ibom.
I'm gonna also show you. I'm gonna show you the result that shows about the Labour Party. If you want it, I can add in the group. I'm gonna send you all the screenshots, and then you do your calculation, you do your communication, and see who won the results. Okay, you actually from you. I believe you say that. Okay, now if you look at the state of you talking about Anambra and Kanu, Kongwa, so everybody knows that you. It is not Kano State. It's not possible. Same with Anambra State. Anambra. These are states that we have reasonable facts that we know that you can stand in. Lagos, even in the Lagos, the state that will be won. They had a lot of riggings. Even with that, Obi still won the election in Lagos State. We saw everything that happened in Lagos State. That a lot of talks and the town were fighting. Now in Abuja is a place that.
Mr. Humble.
Yep.
This is not about the rigging. I think the only thing we get to forget is, when we were tired of PDP government 2015 or so, APC wasn't just in power then. APC was a combination of ACN, CPC, and some other little party for them to take away the suffering of the nation from PDP. Do you know?
JBT, yeah. Okay, let me explain to you that election was one of the most fairest election in where Jonathan was in for that election to be fair and open. Jonathan, when he lost the election, he admitted.
But do you know PDP rigged that election?
No. Let's talk about fact. Let's talk about fact here.
It's the fact I'm trying to say now. PDP rigged that election. The reason the rigging wasn't meeting up the target was because the majority people have come together to tackle them. That was why there is no way they can meet up.
I'm not
assuming
gonna
PDP election, PDP 6-point-something votes, Labour Party 6-point-something votes, and NNPP 1-point-something. That is almost 14 million plus. How on earth will APC claim they win this election with that 8-point-something if these people come together to fight for the people? How would they have come together to tell us APC is the winner of this election? Even if they rigged the election, tell me 8-point-something million and 14-point-something million of the masses. Can't you see the difference? It's not about the rigging now. It's about individual political party selfish interest to the people.
No. Don't say
parties are not considering about the people.
Let me come in now. Maybe we can also use this as a final shot. Now, we've seen the whole process and we've seen loopholes from where, from the aspect of the INEC. Now, the presidential election is done and dusted. Whether political parties will rise up against it, to contest the result at the tribunal, we are yet to know. So, but now we are forging ahead and we'll be facing the state elections. What is your final pick, and what are your expectations, and what will you advise as we head into the state elections? And based on what you've seen and the loopholes that you've observed in the organization of the presidential election and the other federal seats. So looking at that, what have we learned, and what do you expect us to work on, or the INEC to work on, while we head into the state election?
Okay. For me, I think INEC has to first and foremost reinstate the confidence of people in the process, because as at now, a lot of confidence has been lost due to their handling of the process. You can't come up with a guideline to run a process like a national election. Then at the end of the day, you yourself will not keep to your guideline. So I think one thing INEC needs to do is to reassure Nigerians of the sanctity of the process, build trust again, if possible, with Nigerians that they are going to deliver a free, fair, and credible election come 11th of March. This is on the side of INEC. Then on the side of political parties, what transpired in the national election should be an eye-opener to political parties to actually have their plans as to cover for whatsoever plans that will not work in the interests of their parties. Then again, to the electorates that will go out there to vote, the issue would be they should insist they vote, they protect their votes, and they insist that their votes count. How? By insisting that the actual guideline is followed, and what is supposed to be done should be done and be followed. Then again, at the end of the day, state elections have their own complexities based on the diversities of the states and the interests at hand in those states. So that will now boil back to what is so complex in that state, how do they vote? But again, I can actually say that, in my opinion, the victory of APC in the presidency is going to actually affect a lot of states in the forthcoming 11th March election. A lot of states that were going to flip to other parties, APC might retain them. And a lot of states that the people were already angry against APC for them getting the presidency, those states might be retained by APC. Winning the presidency always has an effect to states' election. I don't know how, but it does, depending on the complexities of those states. So I hope INEC will increase the confidence of people in the process and assure the people that they're going to actually conduct a free, fair, and credible election come 11th of March. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm seeing Mr. Kayos signifying he wants to talk. Please go ahead.
Yes. So if I'm to make a conclusion on this last topic, I would say the INEC chairman should honorably step down. He's done. I'm telling you, we cannot. It might be very funny, but we can. This is how we enable poor country. How we enable poor structure of things, how we enable bad governance. Because if they do rubbish, we allow them. If they do, we throw them in. So these people have to understand that they are not coming to become our Lord and personal Savior, to work for us. We are giving them jobs. If some of us who work 9 to 5 here, if you're doing a bad job, your boss will fire you. Yes or no?
Yes.
So it has to be the same thing in the government. If you're not doing the proper job you're paid for, you should be fired. If you don't want to be fired, step down honorably. Like, admit that you have done a terrible job. Let's say if you're building a house and you hire a contractor, and the contractor do the house and you don't like how the house looks, or maybe when it rains the house will crumble, would you still hire the same contractor for another house? You will not do that. So in this current presidential election, INEC has done a very terrible job. They failed woefully, and it's evident that they were aiding some certain people to make sure that the election was not free and fair. So what I would advise is the INEC chairman to step down. Admit that, yes, step down, admit that, yes, I did a terrible job, deserving of this position. I should come down. If he doesn't, he should be fired. He should be fired and replace him with a more competent person. If we keep allowing these people to do anyhow and remain in power, that our country will never become what we want it, the good thing we want it to be. And I realize one thing too. In this election, it was not just about Nigerians. It was about the whole of Africans. It was about the whole Black people on earth. It's not just about Nigerians. I realized Americans were watching. Not about American media, American governments. American people, Black people, we are watching this election. A lot of people from other African countries, we are watching this election. They were glued on YouTube watching everything that was happening. Even it was my American friend that told me they have announced Tinubu as the president before I even checked self. So the election is not just about Nigeria, because if Nigeria start going in the right way tomorrow, it's a big plus for all the African countries, all the Black people in this earth. So it's not just about, we have to set that example. We have to set that example. And the best way to do that is, if your job is given to you and you're not doing it right, you should step down. Step down, allow the person who can do it to take over. So why are we talking about giving INEC another job to run the governorship election when they failed woefully in the presidential election? We cannot keep hoping and hoping and hoping. A lot of Nigerians are so drowned in hope. Like, we are swimming in hope. The government is giving you hope. Your daddy and mommy is giving you hope. The religion that you are going to, is your pastors and your priests and your imams are selling hopes to you. When is that hope gonna manifest? When is it gonna come in real life? When? We keep hoping. I'm an old man now. Most of us here are getting old too. Since I was born till now, it has been hope. And Nigeria is going to be better. Buhari is going to change the country. Obasanjo will do this one. Obasanjo will do that one. This is how they have been selling us hope. It's like opium. We've been drinking everywhere you turn, hope. They will give you in the church, you drink. Government officials will come and give you, you drink. Everywhere, all around corner, hope. When is that hope going to manifest? It means we're doing something wrong. And we have to start from these government officials, because they just do anyhow. We allow them to do anyhow. Look at what happened in Rivers State. Clearly, the result that came out from there, was not what it was. And not just that, some people died because of it. Some people's children died because of it. That one aside, what triggered the NSAS protest was about the police, the SARS in Anambra State, of the people they have killed. No accountability. That man is still at large now. Like, nobody is. I heard he's somewhere in Enugu and he has security. Nothing has been done about it. So we allow these people to do anyhow, allow Buhari to do anyhow, allow Tinubu to do anyhow, allow different people on all the levels of government to do anyhow. And then they'll still keep their job. That is why they treat us like livestock. And we cannot keep allowing such things to happen. We have to make sure that if you are given a job to do, we have to make sure that you do that job in the same standard we expect you to do it. And if you fail to do that, you resign. If you don't resign, you get fired. We cannot keep, patching. Someone said, we hope INEC do this well. How can we be hoping INEC when they couldn't even deliver the presidential election? How? Let's stop hoping as Nigerians. Take the bull by the horn. If they're not doing the job, fire them. If they didn't step down, fire them. If they're not doing the job, remind them they're not doing their job. So that is it. And I would like to make two other observations in this. There is this whole thing about the northern Nigerians, where people say the Northerners has a lot of population. They do not. In this election, it actually opened a lot of eyes. And that population we think the North has is actually underaged people. Underaged people. And INEC has allowed such thing to keep happening in all the past election. So in the northern states, they allow underage people to register. That is actually the whole population of the North we always talk about.
But I think that aspect was defended, that those guys are matured men with
wow.
Growth,
it's only it's only in the northern state that people don't grow like and look like mature people, right? They are the only ones who have the dwarfs and everything. Like how? We can also do the same in the South. I can bring my nephews and nieces and tell them to register. If you ask me, I'll tell they are mature people. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Like, how are we deceiving ourselves like this? There were videos of these kids. You record them, you hear them speak, you hear them show their voter's card. You know that these people are underage kids. There are videos of that on Twitter. But then INEC chairman will come and tell you they are adults. How are they adults? How? Nigeria has become so corrupt that they use what is unreal to confuse you. Like you're seeing something. It's like the more you see, the more you look, the less you see. You're seeing that this is not this, but they are selling you that this is this. That is the problem. That is how much corrupt the government has become. It's a bunch of underage people in the North. Bunch of underage people. And number two, let's stop thinking that the Northerners will always vote a Muslim or vote a PDP, or they will always listen to who asked them, who they told them to vote. It doesn't happen that way. In this current election, I am so much aware that Labour Party did not bribe anybody or try to rig this election, but they were able to get 6 million voters votes. If INEC was not scared, if APC was not scared of the final result, they should have allowed the real result to be published. I can tell you that a lot of northern states actually voted for Labour Party. And some people will argue that the northern people northern people are not stupid. They're not stupid. You are not wiser than them. Some of them, I remember there were people who contributed money and took this election to the north. It was being broadcasted on the radio. They were speaking Hausa to them. So these people, they know what happened. They know what is happening. Even if some of them are not in social media, they are not in Stone Age. They are not Homo erectus. They are human beings like us. They think like us too. They know what is going on. They are not livestock. I can assure you that even if Obi didn't win in the most states, a lot of people, a lot of Northerners voted for Obi. If INEC was not scared of that result, they should have. Why did they rig it? They shouldn't have. What was the point of rigging? If APC had won fair, what is the point of rigging the election? They should have allowed the real result to be published. Let's see. I can guarantee you, Obi has more than 8 million votes. But we will never know. That's the problem. We will never know. And that is what we have to correct in Nigeria. We have to start fixing Nigeria. If we don't, this problem, our children will also be having webinar and be discussing about this. And their own children. Yes, and I think about my parents were part of this. Now I'm part of it. And if we continue doing trial and error, if somebody do something, we allow him and give him grace and keep selling ourselves hope, 8 years will pass. 8 years has passed between Buhari, right? Another 8 years will pass between APC. And after that, another 8 years will pass. How many years we get for this life? By the next 8 years, most of us here, we have kids. And in another 8 years, they will be grown to have their own opinion about the state of Nigeria. Ask yourself personally, is the way Nigeria is now, is it the type of Nigeria I want to give to my kids? That's why we have to fight. That's why we have to fight. If we don't fight for it now, well, I rest my case.
Thank you for that closing remark. That was exhaustive. JBT, do you have anything to tell us?
No, like everyone has said the best. Like, truth be told, we know the country is not in the right state. We can even claim to be calling a country at the moment. But like I said, we as a citizen, we need to make ourselves right before the country can be right. When the citizens are acting right, there is no how a respected government won't give us the right treatment. We know they are useless. Sorry to use that word. We know the government are useless. We know. But at the same time, they said you manifest positivity into your life. So we pray and we hope they listen to our cry and make us proud to claim that we are Nigerians anywhere we are. I appreciate everyone who has spoken. I have to agree to disagree. Everyone has said the truth. We know INEC compromise. Even if it doesn't favor some, it favors some, but it's everyone among them that knows what they do under, that is not known to the public. But let's keep that aside. We all want a better Nigeria where we can say, I'm proud to go home. I'm proud to go and do this in my house. I'm proud to stay in my home without being scared of any intimidation or brutality from police or thugs. So I'm glad I participated in this event. I learned a lot, and learning doesn't end. It happens anywhere, be it where you are arguing, be it where you are studying. Normal mental person will know that when something is not right and he learned from others, he had to make use of it. So I'm glad, and I thank every one of you who, in one way or the other, drop some information that can be of help to others too. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your contribution. And I also want to add to the appreciation. We spent close to more than 2 hours in this discussion, and we had people that have stayed with us from the very beginning, so they can use this opportunity to appreciate you guys. And on behalf of the Middle East Channel Expos, I think I would love to invite my president, Mr. Nathaniel. Please share with us some closing remarks before we round up. President, are you on ground, or is still busy with the online transmission, YouTube and Facebook and every other social media platform? I think he's not on ground.
Yeah, I think he's not active. Yeah, we have the presence of Dr. Prosper. He can help us give a closing remark.
All right. Please, Dr. Prosper, please.
Okay. Now I recognize the presence of my Oga, Mr. Uti. Kindly help us with the closing remark while we leave.
We thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to come and share our thoughts on this topic. And it was a privilege for us to have this opportunity to have this discussion. And we appreciate NiDO East for organizing this. And thank you everyone for being a part of this wonderful event. And do have a wonderful night rest. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Mr.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so very much.